Hello, travelers, and welcome to Adventures in Security, Episode 10, Managing Change. If you like what you see, please subscribe by clicking the link at the bottom right at any time during the video. In this episode, we discuss the importance of change management, who should participate in the change management process, and how to manage change to ensure information security risk does not increase due to any change to system or networks. When we make a change to a system or network, we always face the possibility that security may be weakened or the risk of business process interruption increases. This includes increasing risk to data unexpectedly crossing business trust boundaries. And there is always the risk that the changes to a system or network device can cause infrastructure failure. Infrastructure failure not only affects the business process changed, but it can also affect the organization's ability to execute downstream business processes that rely on input from the failed process. A new project is about to implement a retail sales network, including acceptance of customer payment cards. This new network is also segmented, preventing access to payment card information from users on the administrative network. One step in the implementation process, however, was to ensure that the retail sales network could print to a printer shared by the retail sales network and by the admin network. This was a cost management decision. However, this allows payment card information to travel across VLAN 10, something that should never happen. If this change runs through a change management process, the printing risk issue would likely be identified and an adjustment made. If no change management process exists, the risk to payment card data would likely be higher than security or management expected. Setting up a change management process begins with a policy. The policy should clearly state that no change may be made to production infrastructure or systems without passing through the change management process. As we discuss later, this means the process must include how to make changes during business continuity events. The oversight body of change management is often known as the Change Advisory Board, or CAB. The board is responsible for developing change procedures and making decisions regarding potentially high-risk changes. Some believe all changes should go through the CAB. However, this can significantly slow the change process. So many security professionals believe the CAB should only review changes that have the potential to interrupt a critical business process, either via unavailability or by data compromise. The CAB usually meets once per week and includes senior management representatives from all IT stakeholders. For example, I was a member of a CAB as Director of Information Security. The other members of the team were the Director of Development and the Director of Technical Operations. Other stakeholders were invited to CAB meetings when necessary, including business managers and an attorney from the legal department. In addition to the CAB, the day-to-day change management process must be assigned to a responsible manager. In my case, I was responsible as the Director of Information Security. My team received change requests and ensured the correct sign-offs were obtained. The change process, although often unique to how a business operates, should always include three phases: submission, change approvals, and a decision point at which the change management team decides whether the change should go before the CAB. Finally, the organization must identify who must sign off on changes to ensure the proper reviews are completed. This is a list of the teams that should sign off on every change. This list will likely differ between organizations. The important takeaway is to include every team necessary to ensure any availability or security risk is addressed before the change is implemented. The change process begins with submission of a change request to the team responsible for managing the change management process. This should be a step in every project plan. Change request documents include a description of the change that is detailed enough to ensure signatories can determine if a problem exists, a list of all systems and network devices affected, including relevant network and data flow diagrams, a detailed implementation plan, a detailed backout plan for use if things don't go well during implementation. Having a backout plan helps ensure minimal downtime due to failed implementation. A description of the potential risk associated with the change. The change team ensures copies of the change request go to all signatories. In many cases, this and the approval process is automated. We used Microsoft SharePoint and a proprietary workflow process. If any of the signatories believes the change is high risk, the change should be sent to the CAB for approval. As I mentioned earlier, the standard change process should not stand in the way of taking steps to recover from a business continuity event. Such changes should be made quickly, yet subject to review after the business process recovery. For example, if a system fails because of an unexpected software failure and a business process fails, the developers and database admins are expected to quickly repair the app and ensure data integrity. The repair analysis might take about an hour, and a repair ready in another 30 minutes. However, the change management process might take up to 4 hours. This is not usually acceptable. So the failure response team submits a scaled-back change request, waits for a quick security approval, makes the necessary change, and restores the business process. When the smoke clears, the change is fully documented, submitted to the change process, and the signatories review it. If something is off, the appropriate teams formulate a plan to correct any risky characteristics of the change. Well, that's it for this week. I will be out of commission for the next 2 weeks recovering from a little surgery. I'll be back on May 29th. Until then, be careful what you click.